Number 1, breakdancing. Number 2, DJing. Number 3, MCing. Number 4, graffiti. Now these were all the things that I understood on a surface level about hip-hop, but the biggest takeaway from this class that I got was that there was a fifth element to hip-hop. Fifth and most important element of hip-hop. Number 5, knowledge. Hey guys, this is Ben Yuliano and I'm talking about my global hip-hop class today. That's not gonna lie to you, it's a little weird being done with undergrad, but this was one of the most influential and important classes in all of undergrad that I have taken, because it directly influences what I want to do with my career. Hip-hop is a huge genre, and I really haven't explored much of it. I like to listen to hip-hop, especially big name artists, big mainstream artists like Childish Gambino and Kendrick Lamar and people like that, but I didn't really know a lot about the underground hip-hop scene, and that's really why I wanted to take a class like this. I took other classes in the African Studies major, such as Black Images in the Media and African Music, Literature, and Writing. Both classes were amazing, but this class really delved into the importance and influence of hip-hop itself. And there were so many things about hip-hop that I didn't realize were so groundbreaking and so incredibly important to not only who we are as a society, but the kind of music we listen to. There are so many aspects to our culture that I didn't realize were, if not indirectly, then directly influenced by hip-hop. And I learned so much more about the industry itself regarding hip-hop, all the other genres, and how music really plays into society today. This class was taught by none other than Dr. Charles Pinckney, who in my opinion was actually one of the best teachers I have had in college. What I liked a lot about him is that he was very real. And it's very easy for teachers to put on a little bit of a front, something to really put a line between teacher and student. He would tell us about his experiences. We would tell him about our experiences, and that would relate to the course material. That was one of the things I liked about Dr. Pinckney most. For one thing, he's very passionate, he's very driven, he's very determined to make sure the students understand exactly what hip-hop is, what it represents, what it means, why it's important, and why we need to continue learning about hip-hop today. He's a driven and assertive instructor, and he strives to make sure that the students not only succeed inside the classroom, but also outside the classroom. His main message was to preserve the knowledge and history of hip-hop, and to continue that message for the next generation to come. He would do this in a lot of ways. So in the classroom, the way he would connect with us, the way he would talk about his experiences, the way he would get us to talk about our experiences, and how he would relate all of this to the course material, as I said previously, was inspiring. And it was influential, and it was very important for my overall understanding of hip-hop as an influential genre. You know, when you ask someone about their unique experience, which is totally different from anyone else's experience, and then you relate that to the course material, not only to the material, but you also relate it to your own experiences. When the student is able to talk to the teacher, and they can share their experiences, and then both of them can learn something from the other, and then bring that lesson into the course material. That's one of the reasons why this was definitely one of my favorite classes and one of my most important classes that I took in my undergrad career. Conversations were very real, they were very informative, they were very detail-oriented. While teaching this, Dr. Pinckney would utilize a lot of tools in his arsenal. And what I mean by that is that he would not only talk about his experiences, he would find these really incredible examples of hip-hop that have played into the genre and played into history itself. It's actually hard to imagine the world without the influence of hip-hop. You know, through musical expression, through lyrical expression, visual representation, through art and dance. And the thing is, this representation is all over the world. And that's another thing that I really liked about what Dr. Pinckney would talk about, because he showed us that it's not just America. You know, we tend to have this bubble around America when it comes to everything. What I liked about this class is that we learned about none other than global hip-hop. Dr. Pinckney would talk about how hip-hop was prevalent in Brazil, France, Germany, England, all over the world. It's incredible the influence that this genre has global. One of the best collaborations of music that I've ever seen in a visual representation is one of the videos that Dr. Pinckney utilized for his material. It's amazing because all of these countries are represented in a way where hip-hop brings everyone together. Music brings everyone together. It really is the universal language that breaks down all barriers, and that is one huge reason why I took this class and why I love the fact that hip-hop is a huge proponent of this idea. And I wouldn't have fully understood that, especially regarding hip-hop, if I had not taken this class and if I had not been taught by Dr. Pinckney. One thing that I loved about the class is that we would walk in and a video would be playing. A musical representation of hip-hop would be playing as soon as we walk in. We were constantly exposed to it. Whether we were watching people in music videos, we were watching people breakdancing, we were watching the hip-hop fashion and how it evolved over the years. If we were watching people MCing, people DJing, people explaining how hip-hop has changed their lives and changed throughout the course of history, it's amazing. And I had no idea. The veil is gone. I saw all of this, and I saw how hip-hop has influenced everything. Hip-hop has really influenced so many subcultures of music and society in general. Fashion, art, dance, lyricism, expression. And what's even more surprising, and this is something that is continually evolving today, politics. One of the best things we saw in this class was this video describing the 50 moments, the top 50 moments in which hip-hop changed or reformed or helped the world evolve in some manner, in some way, shape, or form. Idris Elba was the narrator of this video, and he talked about how hip-hop changed the course of society as we know it. I specifically remember the top moment was when, in 2008, as we all know, Barack Obama became the first black president. Not only that, but he was the first president to support, openly and publicly support, hip-hop. He talked about how much he liked Jay-Z. He talked about brushing your shoulders off. And see, that's the thing. He actually enlisted Jay-Z and the hip-hop community as part of his campaign. No other president had done that before. That's the top influence in the country, in the free world. And this person is professing support for hip-hop. That's huge for the hip-hop community. That was the #1 moment in the documentary, as Idris Elba said. That is monumental for not only the hip-hop community, but hip-hop as a legacy, as a genre, as a subculture of this industry that we've come to know and love because of its influence and because of its ability to help us grow as people. That documentary was one of the most important and influential things that I've ever seen. Besides the fact that it was just about hip-hop, I never realized the impact that hip-hop really has, and will continue to have on society. I would have never known this if I had not taken this class, if I had not been shown this documentary by Dr. Pinckney. He used documentaries like this, videos like this, written blogs like this, assignments like this, projects like this, music videos like this. He used so many examples displaying hip-hop as a powerhouse, this unstoppable force that would showcase the best parts of the human condition. That's something that's very overlooked, but it's so important, especially with people today. If you're not genuine, if you're not real, that's when the kids start to disconnect, and they don't feel engaged, they don't feel involved. Oh, this is just some material that I'm gonna really just regurgitate for the test, from memory, and then never use it again. Never revisit this material again. Something like that. This is something that's going to be important years from now. This is real. This is actually happening. This is how we communicate with each other. Hip-hop is communication. I didn't really understand that idea, that mentality, until I took this class. It really is just a way for people to connect through art, through dance, through MCing, through DJing, through knowledge. That's why when he would have guest speakers, and we would read these incredibly detail-oriented blogs about hip-hop becoming a major powerhouse and a major influence for these kids who didn't have all that much in other countries, or if they had a lot but they just didn't know how to get out what they needed to say. If they didn't feel like they had a voice, all these inner city kids, not only in America but in other places such as France, Germany, London, Brazil, all these places where people really need to express themselves, and now they can. And for him to be able to bring that global message into our classroom and to feed us that knowledge was incredibly important. After hearing those experiences from other kids, after hearing Dr. Pinckney's unique experiences, I have a better understanding of what hip-hop is, what hip-hop means, and how hip-hop shapes society in general. One of our assignments was to dissect and analyze a dissertation written purely in a rap format. As a producer, as an artist, I think, you can do that? That's awesome. I would do that. That's amazing. This dissertation was called Owning My Masters, The Rhetorics of Rhymes and Revolutions by Dr. A.D. Carson. And it was phenomenal. I heard all the tracks, and each and every one of them was lyrically genius, for lack of a better term. It was another great example of how Dr. Pinckney was able to showcase to us that hip-hop takes so many shapes and forms. It took the form of a dissertation. I mean, the thought of that before, I was like, that's absurd. But it was amazing. It was really good. My favorites from this dissertation were 5 pieces, 5 compositions that Dr. A.D. Carson wrote called Grand Wizard, Black Love Poem, Take 2 Listens, See the Stripes, and Some Thoughts on Just Us. And all 5 of these songs, really all the songs in the dissertation, were incredible in their own way. Through A.D. Carson, Dr. Pinckney was able to show us, with this example, just how relevant and how important it is to be able to communicate what you feel and your thoughts and opinions on something, especially in a musical format. How important that is and how that connects people in so many different settings and so many different environments and backgrounds. For this guy to talk about racism, talk about family matters, talk about poverty, talk about love. I mean, it was incredible. It was this detail-oriented, lyrically genius masterpiece of a production, of a dissertation, and it was incredible. If I had taken any other class, I would have never seen that. I probably would have never found that, would have never discovered that had I not taken this class. Had Dr. Pinckney not showed me that, I would have never seen that. Where would I have found that? So, for me to be able to take this class and for him to give me an example like that, for him to bring in all these guest speakers, like the person in our last day of class, this guy was able to work with huge names in the industry, as I'd said before, Rihanna, Drake, Bruno Mars in the studio. And the guy said himself, Bruno Mars is a musical genius. It was inspiring to hear him talk about how the industry has changed and how to get into the industry, how to break into the industry, and really how to rely on yourself and how to believe in yourself and not rely on an external factor like a record label to get you going. We also watched a video about the hip-hop legend Damon Dash, who worked with Jay-Z, who helped Jay-Z to start Rockefeller Records. In this video, Damon Dash talked about how he got started and how he respects other people in the industry, but also how he garnered respect from others by being consistent, having a great product. You don't stop. You keep going, and that's what Damon Dash talked about. That was one of the big takeaways I got from this class, from hearing all these different influential people talk, from the guest speakers to the people in the videos, to A.D. Carson. All these other people talked about how if you really want something, you need to do it for yourself. You can ask for help from others, but you need to do it yourself. All these different people talked about how hip-hop changed their lives for the better, and how they used hip-hop as a motivation to chase their aspirations and to achieve their goals and achieve success in their lives. And again, this class, Dr. Pinckney, all of these resources about hip-hop could not have come at a better time. I want to be a recording artist. I want to be a music producer. I want to break into this industry, and I'm about to be in the real world after graduation in 4 days. And I'm glad I took this class because now I understand what hip-hop really represents and why it needs a bigger audience. And I would not have understood that as clearly had I not taken global hip-hop, had I not been instructed by Dr. Pinckney, and had I not taken this class at such a good time, right before I graduate. Dr. Pinckney, thank you very much again for a great class. I thought you were a great instructor. I thought you were very real with us. I thought you expressed openly how you felt. I thought you were very genuine with your opinions and your experiences, and you really believed in what you taught us, and that was very respectable and very important. I appreciate how much passion you put into what you do, and I agree that the next generation needs to understand the importance of hip-hop and that hip-hop can't just stop. I know that we may not have appreciated it to the full extent, but I really liked the videos, I really liked the documentaries we saw. I liked how there was always a music video or a song or composition playing whenever we would walk in. I was really interested in the blog readings and how hip-hop grew in other countries apart from the US. I was really interested in all the guest speakers that we listened to throughout the semester, especially the last one because that was so cool to hear about big name artists like Drake and Bruno Mars. Awesome. Overall, the assignments were really interesting, especially the dissertation. That was awesome. The top 50 hip-hop moments by Idris Elba, that was really, really cool. A lot of those moments I had no idea about, so I really appreciated that. And hearing about all of your unique experiences, hearing about all of my classmates' unique experiences really helped to shape what made this class great. So again, I thank you very much, Dr. Pinckney, and I wish you the best. And I hope to continue learning more about how hip-hop changes the world.